Oh my goodness.
The one of one is missing.
I knew something was up.
Pop that's almost twice as much going for the same price.
I just freaking love that rated rookie logo.
Doing more buying.
Which one of these 5 quarterbacks has the worst set of pass catchers to throw the football to?
Guess how much I sniped this for an auction?
Number to 5, you dirty animal.
I'm telling you, these optic on-card autos are money.
Football cards collecting and investing. His name is Andy. My name is Carter. I'm looking to buy this card in the background of my photo, so please go ahead and do it. If you're listening via iTunes, Spotify, please leave a 5-star review and all that good stuff. And Andy, your biggest NFL Week 1 football card takeaway, I'm actually going to share it for everyone to listen. You are not a Caleb Williams guy. Like you're kind of just turned off by CW18.
Yeah, man, is a very meh performance on Monday night. And I'm looking at the weapons he's got. I mean, he almost got DJ Moore killed by the end of the game. And just a lot of the misses that he had. I feel like Caleb's got a lot going for him athletically in terms of scramble ability, in terms of, his rushing ability, but his ability to read the defense and then to put the ball where it needs to be for his receivers to take advantage of it was not great, not good. I'm telling you, Drake May looked better. Jaden, of course, much better. Bo Nix looks better. Michael Penix, as much as I hate to say it, looks better. Who did I miss from the 2024 quarterback? Oh, J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy was a great example because he's a tale of two halves from Monday night, Carter. Yeah. Like, if you had an auction, you were ending on J.J. McCarthy, and you ended it at halftime, you got hosed. But if you ended it after the game, he came alive at the end of the game, secured the win with a nice scramble, couple nice touchdown passes, gets the win. You ended that auction after the game. You probably got 20, 30% more on your card.
Yeah, I was impressed by JJ to turn it around. It always helps when you have Justin Jefferson and down the pipeline, you're getting Jordan Addison back. Also, your environment matters. And look, I thought Caleb Williams, the first drive, you're like, hey, we're set. Okay, this is a Caleb we all expected, starting the game off 10 for 10. But like you said, he fell off a cliff. And it always never made sense to me. I understand he was the number 1 overall pick. His prices being higher than that of the other rookie quarterbacks. I always felt it should have been Jaden and all the others around the same price. But Andy, Michael Penix looked good. You and I were in disagreement on that. Your Buccaneers were still able to win the game, but Michael Penix was to me pretty solid for the Atlanta Falcons. And that run, Air Penix to the goal line. Trust me, I hate the Falcons more than you do, but he looked pretty good.
Yeah, overall, I think he did look good. I'm interested to see Drake London's injury status. That's going to definitely impact him as their target leader. But Kyle Pitts looked resurrected. He had some really nice passes to Bijan Robinson. His involvement in the receiving game looked great. I think overall, it was just a much smoother, more successful offense under Penix than it was Kirk Cousins at times last year.
So I'm trying to get a sale on some national treasures of these rookies, and we do have some Michael Penix national treasures cards that are out there. So I am very interested. Obviously, there's some JJ McCarthy ones that are out there. Treasures really does at times dictate the higher end market, and a lot of it is quarterbacks. But you're not going to have Jaden Daniels national treasures. You're not going to have Drake May NT. You're not going to have Caleb Williams NT because of the Fanatics exclusives. But you still do have quite a few players in that class, in particular Penix and McCarthy, who did sign for treasures.
Yeah, you certainly do. And I would be interested to see if they're on the checklist for just patch cards like the one behind you, or obviously it's not game worn or anything, or even just the general rookie cards.
Yeah, look, I'll
Um,
share my screen. I was looking at some of these a little bit earlier today. We have a few Michael Penix treasures that are listed, some that are in auction right now.
nice. Let me add you here.
Pretty much all napkin patches here. But you could see, of course, none of these are going to be game worn. Would be nice. Or this one actually looks kind of dirty. But still, this card actually is pretty sweet.
So who's your comp for Penix in terms of just like a player comp? Would you say in the NFL?
Phillip Rivers.
Phillip Rivers.
That would be to me the best case scenario for him.
Do you have like a modern day comp?
Well, I just went with the guy that he reminds me of. I would more modern day, like someone, the lazy one that everyone does is Tua because they're both left-handed, and to me they're not alike. I don't think Michael Penix will ever be like a top 5 quarterback in the NFL, but in many ways, the way he can just seed a ball into tight coverage, he reminds me a little bit of Dak in many ways, right? They're both insanely athletic, but they don't like to run. Dak, of course, can't run like he used to, but Michael Penix ran a 4.5 40-yard dash. They both can layer the football really well. It's just that's probably not the best comparison because Penix's accuracy is far more erratic than that of Dak Prescott, but still, I think Penix is solid. That's because my pre-draft read on him was not great. I'll admit it was not great. I had him behind all the other 5 quarterbacks, but he's grown on me. And if you're attached to Bijan and Drake London, both of which are still young players, I expect Penix to still play solid ball in an NFC South that is atrocious.
Well, they get the Vikings on Sunday night this upcoming week, and the Vikings have that super aggressive defense. Yeah, you mentioned Penix's speed. I feel like he's not that fast, though. Maybe it's straight line speed. Maybe he can't cut as well because of the lower body injuries, Carter.
Yeah, that's some of it. Some of it.
I felt like we were able to chase. It's not like Caleb. Like Caleb Williams has damn near Kyler Murray type speed, like really quick on his feet. I would guess that Caleb Williams a little bit faster than Patrick Mahomes when it comes to scrambling.
We say hi to Cesar. The QB room's in here. Joel, Jonathan, Travis Etienne to the moon. So before we talk Etienne, it is all about the QBs. And Andy, I know you're in on Etienne. I was more so in on Bigsby. And you're right. Tank goes to the Eagles. We'll see what happens there. But the thing that's interesting to me is Trevor Lawrence still stinks. He still stinks. We've been doing the show now 4.5, 5 years, and it's finally coming around. It's amazing how the ebbs and flows of this actually happen. Justin Fields was my number 1 quarterback in that class. And what does Justin Fields do this weekend with a coach that actually believes in him and a true good, I wouldn't call him a number 1 wide receiver, but a really, really, really good wide receiver in Garrett Wilson.
College connection there too.
Yes. Justin Fields goes out there, ball's out of control, one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, probably the most shocking performance over the weekend. And Trevor Lawrence, he won his game, and Fields didn't win his game. But T-Law was just missing guys left and right. My goodness gracious. He's making my guy BTJ look bad.
Yeah, and that was a weird game, right? With the 1 hour lightning delay.
True.
So that I think that definitely impacted. I think Brian Thomas Jr. had 7 targets, I believe, but only 1 reception. It was not. So this is like a weird game. Travis Etienne had a great game here. And Travis Hunter got, his debut. But what I'm very interested to see is if the Jags can string together a 3-0 start, if Trevor Lawrence's cards would go up, even though he's not performing great. Now, that's probably not going to happen because they're playing the Bengals this upcoming weekend, and Joe Burrow is like all over those guys. They beat the Browns week 1, narrow victory. Their defense was not that great. So I think that this Jags Bengals game this weekend could be a shootout, which, like, I am all over this game from a DFS perspective. I'm also very interested if there's Travis Etienne cards are still very low. I'm firing those up to buy right now to flip for the season. But also, if there's any dips this week on auctions for Brian Thomas Jr. because he had such a slow start, I'm buying that as well because he's quarterback proof. And if after this season they feel that Trevor's not the guy, I mean, what's to say that they don't restart in the draft next year if they can tank towards the end of this season, get a high draft pick next year, start fresh with a new quarterback maybe.
Ooh, coming in hot. Andy Kayshon. I'm just not a T-Law guy. I don't see it. Maybe the chat can correct us if we're wrong. The Fighting Liam Cohen's out there. Bobby says, should we buy Tank Bigsby?
Look, it's the same reason why we were saying to buy Will Shipley. So, yes, I do think you can get some exposure to Tank Bigsby, but it's a low upside play. The cards are very cheap. So I'd be looking to get rookie ticket autos at their bottom, like $10. Like if I'm going to get a silver optic contenders rookie ticket auto, I'd be wanting to spend no more than $20 max. I want to get him the same price I'm going to get Jahan Dotson, because just like Jahan Dotson behind A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, you're going to be behind Saquon Barkley, which, knock on wood, Carter, the one thing we did see so far this season, week 1, running back health has been way improved over years past. We had no major running back injuries so far this season. None major notable injuries.
So let me ask you this, okay? And before we talk more about individual players, Andy, your thoughts on just the football card price market as a whole? Because now the first week is played. We've always said leading into week 1 oftentimes is the best time to sell your cards. So overall, Andy's read on the football card market is what?
Well, I mean, it's really healthy. I mean, you actually have quite a few people buying into guys like Daniel Jones, for example, who's a veteran player. I even saw quite an increase in the sold volume for Geno Smith, who's even 7 years older than Daniel Jones. So, like, I look at the market, it's very healthy. There still is a big focus on people chasing quarterback upside first and foremost. But then right behind that is the wide receivers and the running backs, the rookies. A lot of people are chasing those rookies. Like Emeka Egbuka is probably the number 1 rookie going up after opening weekend that I can think off right off the top of my head. But there's a lot of guys. Like, I'm shipping out a Kayshon Judkins base college uniform rookie auto, and people anticipating his start in the NFL, and the fact that Dylan Sampson out-carried Jerome Ford, and they really don't have anybody else. They need a guy like Judkins to get in there and tote the ball. So, like, the football card market is healthy, man. You look at college cards, you look at pro cards, you look at people buying quarterbacks like Justin Fields, even though they didn't win their week 1, they had these stellar performances, and it's an open season, man. So a lot of it has recalibrated. You're like Tua's, I mean, he's on the verge of falling off a cliff here in card values from a quarterback standpoint. But the other guys that are performing well, they're being rewarded. I mean, Justin Herbert's up a lot, Carter, from that Friday night win. So,
yeah. So let's talk about the 2 players on your thumbnail image, Andy, Hollywood Brown and Kayshon Boutte.
So Kayshon Boutte, spoiler alert, is my play of the week.
Let's go. Lock in.
Target leader. I liked what I saw from Drake May. I talked to a couple Patriots fans who watched the entire game. I was watching Red Zone and then afterwards looking at some analytics and stuff. But, I think the consensus was that Drake may have a little bit of nerves coming into this game, but overall it was a solid performance. And I think there's a lot of promise there. And Kayshon Boutte is the target leader in that offense. And outside of that, it's Hunter Henry. And so I think Boutte has really stepped up in this offense as the young guy that, hey, man, I'm really excited about this Patriots team. I think they're actually going to be okay this year. And so just from a price analysis standpoint, Kayshon Boutte, very cheap. This is a very big market. Like, I'm going to add my screen here back to the. Whoa, there's a lot of new screen options on this. There we go. A lot of new screen options on the StreamYard. But look, I mean, people are buying the out of 50 LSU gold refractor auto for $30, but you got a lot of this stuff still very cheap. Pen pals for under $10. You gotta like that, man. That's very cheap. I can see a lot of upside. I mean, there's one just for a couple bucks. And so these are auctions yesterday that is still not getting really getting a whole lot of traction, because I think he's still a deeper cut name, and only people that are playing a lot of fantasy football are following the opportunity share. He didn't make a one-handed catch like DeAndre Hopkins did Sunday night, stuff like that. He's not the bona fide alpha on his team because of Stephon Diggs and the fact they didn't win and stuff. But at the same time, he's a target leader, and there's a lot of upside there, man.
Yeah, so let's go to Hector. Andy, your thoughts on the rookie running backs after week one? It was a clunky but win game for everyone's favorite Ashton Jeanty. RJ Harvey breaks off a 50-yard run. He's going to be sharing time with J.K. Dobbins, but eventually it's going to be his backfield, you would like to think. So, Andy, your thoughts on the rookie RBs after week one? Because the guy that I want to bring up is Dylan Sampson, right? You're going to bring up RJ Harvey. Dylan Sampson was my play of the week before the college draft process started. And now his autos have gotten to be pretty high. But let's talk some RJ Harvey.
Yeah, I'm totally down to talk RJ Harvey. However, I mean, it still looks like J.K. Dobbins got the primary role there. But J.K. Dobbins' upside in the hobby, I think, is somewhat limited due to the injuries and the bouncing around. He is getting to that kind of like that age apex in his career, whereas RJ Harvey's a rookie and he does have that home run hitting ability. So if J.K. Dobbins goes down with an injury, you want to have RJ Harvey stashed. I mean, just looking at the price here, $39 on a base Origins rookie auto. Your supply is limited right now. Your options are limited. But as you can see, that same card sold to 50 in a buy it now yesterday. So getting it at 39 is actually a good deal on a card like that right now. You even had a September 8th, Monday, a $60 buy now. I could see this card getting as high as $100 if that happens to J.K. Dobbins and RJ Harvey keeps ripping off runs like this, because look at what happened to Isaac Tesla in the preseason, man. And what happened week one, Carter? I told you he got one target in a game against Green Bay where they were trailing, getting their butts kicked. They had to throw, But I know Jared Goff was swallowed up in this game, and he didn't look the same. So that team's in trouble. But yeah, I mean, RJ Harvey definitely looks like he's got some upside from the rookie standpoint. I think people overreacted to Omarion Hampton's debut. That was an interesting game where he did struggle, but at the same time, I saw several film analysts and fantasy analysts talking about how people were overreacting to Omarion Hampton's debut. So I'm actually going to be buying that dip. I think the Chargers are a real force this year. Definitely want to have that Omarion Hampton exposure. RJ Harvey, who was the other running back that you mentioned outside of Dylan?
Sampson.
I mean, Jeanty looked okay.
Yeah.
Jeanty looked okay. But at the same time, this was not a great game environment for him against the Patriots. And I think the Patriots have a really good run defense still. So I think there's better days ahead for Jeanty as well. Outside of Dylan Sampson, who else do we see debut? You mentioned one other guy.
This is where it gets weird. Is Caleb Johnson, who did nothing. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
had negative fantasy points. Ask me about it. Um, Caleb Johnson was a fade, but he fell in my number one league. He kept falling. So I was like, oh, okay, I'll take him. Just in case I'm just wrong. I have 0% Caleb Johnson, and it's for reasons for what happened this past weekend. It was the Kenneth Gainwell. Kenneth
Yeah.
Gainwell and Jalen Warren show.
I
So,
should have known Kenny Gainwell would have emerged as like a 50-50 lead back role with Jalen Warren.
right.
Surprising.
Kenneth Gainwell taking touches away from Caleb Johnson. He'll
So
drive.
now Caleb's a stash, man. It's actually really interesting to me because I feel like Arthur Smith has been known as a super run heavy coach, but you give him Aaron Rodgers and this offense looked great, dude. Like looked really good. And I think maybe it's maybe a perfect marriage. But I also then wonder like how much of it was Aaron trying so hard because he wanted to beat the Jets so bad and prove to all the doubters on the Jets organization that he can still play. So is he going to fall off a cliff after this? I don't know. But they looked really good.
I will say this, okay, to shift topics from this rookie running back class. Andy, this was a guy that I wanted to talk about because this could be a pretty nice buy low opportunity. I didn't think to go look at his football card prices because he's so deep into my afterthought because his prices were once so high. But Andy, Houston fans are fed up with CJ Stroud. I am shocked. I opened up Twitter this morning. Media members that interview this guy and cover him every week. Like, is the honeymoon phase over for CJ? So your thoughts? Obviously, his football card market is very flooded. So he was the first QB of the Topps unlicensed generation, right? He was the first. And, his autos were in some products and not in some others. And then he had all these Topps autos, and the rest of the QBs in his draft class, like Bryce Young, didn't do too well. So it shot his stuff up. And now Houston fans, Andy, are furious now that they're 0-1, even though they're in the weakest division, arguably in football.
They're about to be 0-2 too. They play my Buccaneers on Monday Night Football this upcoming week.
Oh,
and they're about to be 0-2. I'm just going to tell you that right now. And I don't know what their schedule looks like after that. I know it's not a cakewalk. So I could see CJ Stroud's prices dipping even more. But I'm not advocating to sell him if you got him. I think you should hold him. I think there's better days ahead for CJ Stroud. I'm gonna share my screen on his latest Silver Prism. Shout out to Red 5 Cards. He ended a Jaden Daniels Silver Prism PSA 10 auction on Sunday night, and he got $1,350 for it, which is absolutely incredible, dude.
beautiful.
Because that card was at $1,000 before the season, and now I'm looking at CJ Stroud to look at how far he has come down since he had that electric rookie season start. When his card, as you can see, February of 2024 was at $1,500, that current Jaden Daniels level. And like you said, the market is flooded for him. He's got a very similar type of market as Jaden Daniels. And you look now, that card's at $500 in a buy it now. $500 in a buy it now. So, but could it get lower? Like, could it possibly get lower? I mean, you look at Bryce Young, not a good start for him. Did not start the year the way he finished last year. His Silver Prism PSA 10's at $200. I don't think CJ Stroud gets this low, Carter, but
No.
I could see him maybe getting 250, 300 at that point. I think that's a buy for CJ Stroud. I definitely think that he's got a promising future in the NFL. I'd really have to. I mean, have you studied the film on CJ Stroud from the game?
Yeah.
Like what do you see?
Yeah, so the Texans have always had offensive line issues since he's been there. So in week one to go on the road and play Jared Verse, it's tough. Like Jared Verse is arguably the best young edge rusher uh, in
Mm,
in 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 the NFL, and I don't even think edge rusher describes Jared Verse. He's an edge smasher. There is no speed moves with that Jared Verse. What he wants to do is punch you in your face and tell you about it afterwards. Um, and that's really tough in week one because it's hard to practice against someone like that because his bull rush is so good. And Andy, I'm just not a D'Amico Ryans guy. Sure, it was
mm.
really good in year one. Bobby Slowick was good in year one. Year two, Bobby Slowick wasn't great, so they fire him. And the Texans always have undisciplined penalties. Always. It's the biggest gripe in that fan base. And then to have Nico Collins and have him basically be a non factor, we're both big Nico guys. There really aren't a whole lot of excuses built in for the head coach to not have the team ready to go. I understood the Stingley injury early in that game is always tough because that's your franchise cornerstone defensive player. But man, I'm still a believer in CJ's talent. I still am. And look, I tweeted this out earlier today. If the Texans want to trade CJ Stroud, my Saints will happily give up a few first. That's why I think this is,
Yeah.
and obviously Houston's never doing that, but it is amazing how many Texans fans are just out. So
Well,
we'll see.
I get it, man. They had such high hopes, especially making the playoffs year one and doing what they did. It's like it's the same thing I think that right now you have for Jaden Daniels, except he's just got in such a perfect environment with Cliff Kingsbury and everybody there in Washington. I mean, he is excelling big time. So CJ Stroud's not in the right environment right now for all those reasons you just mentioned. And I think his market's going to continue to dip. And I actually would be very interested to buy it. When we get to that really low point, like end of October, beginning of November, I'd be really looking to maybe make a play on some of those rookie autos, like for CJ Stroud, like these from Tops. Some of the different. I wouldn't get a plain color patch one like this Tops
No,
composite out of 99. But look, it's one bid. It's at $150 now. The auto alone for Jaden Daniels right now, is worth like 3 times that much. Just the auto
right.
alone for Jaden Daniels is getting up there close to $500. But like something like this right here, like Topps Chrome, rookie card shield, rookie auto, maybe even find this with a serial number at 180 right now. Nobody's touching it, but at some point that's going to become a buy. Like this person just threw that up, but I have to think this card right here, and this is a new listing, is pretty low compared to the history. And it's definitely going to be like if you would look this card up for Jaden Daniels, it's going to be very low.
Yeah. Or you mean very high?
Well, the price for CJ Stroud's going to be very
Oh,
low
very low in
compared to
comparison. Okay, yeah.
yeah. Because look, I mean, before the season, this card was selling 180 and 170 September 5th. So to see it continue to fall down here, now we got this for 180. I mean, that's really low, in my opinion, for an auto.
Let's talk a little bit about Cam Ward. Okay, so if we're on the number one overall pick thing while you pull up Jaden's price, Jonathan, good to see you. As always, he was the one that wanted to talk Cam. He did look really good, but the Titans are going to tighten. I don't think, when you think of painful franchises, you always think about the Bears. You always think about the Bengals, even though they have Burrow now,
Mm-hmm.
or the Vikings, if you will. But the Titans, whew, they have been through it, Andy.
They
And
have, man.
th-
But
th-
I am, yeah.
this Broncos game was promising for me from a film standpoint for CJ. The stats don't show it, but my play on the Titans was Elick Aomaner, and the Titans love him. You could just tell by his usage in week 1. And if Calvin Ridley continues to struggle, it might be the Elick Ayomanor show. But man, these Jaden cards look sweet, even though they're unlicensed. I might just be biased, but man.
Yeah, and that's why you see something like out of 150 ending in auction yesterday, a Topps Inception out of 150, rookie card shield, but unlicensed, got the auto, probably a sticker without really zooming in, still ending for 303 to 50. Whereas if this was a rookie ticket auto for Jaden, now we're talking 1,000 plus. It's really unfortunate we don't get that for Jaden, CJ. We're not going to get it for Cam Ward, you know. Because those cards from Panini that they make, they're beautiful, you know. So you got to play with what you get. So this is what you got for Jaden, and it does impact the price. But at some point, you got to think, especially if Jaden continues to win, man, these cards for Jaden are going to go up. I saw a lot of solds for Jaden going up on, like Optic, and we're talking non color match cards like Green Velocity Optic for Jaden. That was selling for 30 before the season, now selling for 50, 55. That kind of tier, like that mid tier, where a lot of people have the budget to spend and they feel comfortable spending $50 to $100 on a card. You're going to see those base prisms, those optic hollows, those kind of cards going up a lot for Jaden. And I think they may get to the point here where they're starting, they get 100 plus on those types of cards. Big game, though, is Thursday night. If they could beat the Packers, that's a statement win, right? Because the Packers look good top to bottom right now. Jordan Love's playing good. His values are up, Carter. But going back to Cam Ward, I think the Denver's defense is one of the best in the league. They're a Super Bowl contending team. This was the most difficult matchup you could have ever imagined. And he was making some decent passes, and he had like 5 or 6 drops at least in this game. His guys were not helping him out at all. He was not getting any help. But in terms of like first game jitters and nerves and stuff, I thought Cam Ward looked pretty good, pretty composed. I think there's going to be some big games for him in the future. I'm definitely buying a Cam Ward dip. If I can get into a dip on Cam Ward because the Titans just can't get it together, I will do that.
Yeah, let's go to a few here. Clickbait says it's crazy to see the difference between a PSA 10 and a 9. Unreal. Yeah, it drives me. It drives me crazy. Trusty, we get into this rant all the time, which is why I am always going to be a buy card, not the grade guy. And I hate it when we are so attached to grades and we're in a non-vintage space, right? Vintage, I totally understand the difference in grades really mattering because they didn't number cards in. There weren't all these different parallels. But now it's all about, am I getting a PSA 10 or am I getting a PSA 9? So we won't go down that route, but clickbaits, we appreciate your membership and all that stuff. We go to, and it's a good point by you, by the way. I wanted to say that. It drives me nuts. Space 99 Yak brings up a somewhat controversial topic here, Andy. This is very controversial in the hobby. Your thoughts on buying cheap Daniels sticker autos, putting them on Panini cards, and sending them to PSA for authentication?
What are we talking? What's cheap for a Jaden Daniels sticker?
Well,
auto?
Basically what he's saying is, yeah, I mean, there's not one in theory.
So
right?
is he talking about like buying the cheapest Leaf card or anything I can find that's a sticker, peeling it off of that card, putting it on a Panini card, and then submitting it for authentication?
Yes, people do it. I haven't seen a whole lot of Jadens like that.
This
But
is the first I'm hearing of this, to be honest with you, Carter.
oh yeah, I've seen it. I mean, people do whatever for authentication.
Are they authenticating those?
Yeah, because you're authenticating just the auto. You're not authenticating the card. And the card itself is still authentic. It's just, to me, I would consider that altered. Yeah, I view that as the same as you edging a card, basically, or shaving down a card, like which is far more common in vintage, but still, um, I don't like that. I don't like it at all. But
Some
then
of them
again,
I would imagine you would have to like crack the case. So he's basically talking about like buying a Sage like this, 136 bucks. Well, this was back in July too, but then taking that sticker off and putting it on a panini. I don't like that. I don't think that's right, man. I'm surprised that PSA is actually letting that slide in terms of authentication. Um, I get why they're doing it. You're right, but man, I don't know. I don't think I
I've
like.
not seen it with Jaden yet, but I've seen it before. Right? Annoy says he's seen it with Justin Herbert's in the past. So there you go. Yeah, it's weird. It's very weird. Very, very, very weird.
Yeah. So Carter, my other question for you this week. I mean, it's a big storyline, right? Because you got the Chiefs tax. We always talk about the Chiefs tax, and Xavier Worthy, who I literally started in like every fantasy league, runs into Travis Kelsey at full speed, destroys his shoulder. Hopefully, no surgery yet, so hopefully he'll be back in a few weeks, maybe with rehab. But because of that, Marquis and Rashi Rice is suspended. Uh, Marquise Hollywood Brown becomes the target leader in this game for the Chiefs. And there has been an increase, a pretty significant increase in the sold volume of Marquise Brown cards, but they're still pretty cheap. Do you think this guy's got enough juice left in the tank to sustain this type of targets and a volume? And do you think that the Chiefs are going to like continue to perform here? They got the Eagles this upcoming weekend, Super Bowl rematch at 425. Is this a spot where we can attack the Eagles secondary, get some exposure to Marquise Brown, or should we
Yeah.
just go ahead and sell them before heading into this game?
Yeah, you could do either. One thing I wanted to share from the Chiefs, Andy, they only had 8 possessions versus the Chargers, meaning the
Wow.
Chargers played an amazing game, which shows you in the AFC West, the margin of error is thin. So that's what Harbaugh does. He forces you to play perfect. And that Chargers game was a Harbaugh game. And the funny thing about it, Mahomes was really freaking good in this game. Like really good. I know that you're concerned because the Chiefs are 0-1 now. Patty was on one. He stepped it up to another gear. And Marquise Brown is going to be the beneficiary. So do I think it's a little overrated? 10 catches, 99 yards? Sure. Because you're always worried if a receiver gets 10 catches that they don't reach like 100, 120 yards. That means you're not doing a whole lot after the catch. There was also a Hollywood drop mixed in there. So Mahomes targeted him a lot. So I do expect that to continue. And I also want to say, Andy, that Travis Kelsey came out and said it was his fault that he hurt Xavier Worthy. He said it was him.
I know.
Yeah, he had a quote this morning on New Heights, a podcast that has just a few more listeners than ours. Just a few, just a couple. They had Kevin Hart and Rob Riggle on. We have us on, but uh, and Travis Kelsey said, I'm supposed to be running my route at depth, so it's it sucks. It sucks, and it's so weird because Mahomes hurts Rashee Rice last year, and now Kelsey hurts Xavier Worthy this year.
Yeah, it's a bummer, but I think there's a chance that and this is a very interesting storyline to follow to see if Patrick Mahomes' prices dip because of the Chiefs losing games. Like this Eagles matchup is not going to be easy for them, and I could potentially see them going 0-2 here, man. 0-2 against a tough defense. Hopefully, Jalen Carter doesn't get suspended from spatting, and to get him back. And the Chiefs could potentially start out 0-2. And what would that do to the Patrick Mahomes market, especially heading into midseason? His card values are actually up over the past 6-month period. His base Donruss rated rookie PSA 10 is up at $1,000 average. The latest trend was over $1,000. You know what I'm saying? So, if you look at the trend, his Prism Silver PSA 10 has held strong at $4,500. So that's like the standard for him. Let's see if that dips down below 4,000. Let's see if those base Donruss rated rookies dip into the 800s or 700s. And if that's the case, then the raw ones could dip down under like 200. And all of a sudden, you're looking at a situation where you could buy the current modern day GOAT of football here in Patrick Mahomes. And maybe, Carter, the same thing could happen for Lamar. How do you think Lamar? I thought Lamar looked great on Sunday night.
Oh God, yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
the
great.
funny thing about it is, of the elite quarterbacks. All right, so there was all these offseason polls, Andy, of the elite quarterbacks. 7 of them were like the consensus top 7. It was Patrick Mahomes, Josh Allen, Joe Burrow, Lamar Jackson, Jaden Daniels, Justin Herbert, and Jalen Hurts. They were in most of the top 7s. I would also put Matthew Stafford, who was in some of those top 5s, if you will, at 8. Only one of those quarterbacks didn't have a good day, and that was Joe Burrow. All the other ones balled out of control. The Stafford score line does not indicate how freaking good he was in this game last week versus the Texans. So for our Power Hour, and I am streaming this on Power Hour NFL just to try something new for us. And I know they're used to seeing me break down film and all of it. I highly recommend, if you want to really see some high level quarterbacking, go look at Matthew Stafford's best throws. Remember, Puka's face got caved in early in that game, and Stafford still balled out of control. So, and I know Hector's a bigger Stafford guy than me. The dude is just insane. I'm high on the Rams this year, as you can't tell. So it's going to be a fun year. It wouldn't have been a stream if Andy's camera didn't go out. But yeah, dude, Stafford's market is always going to be a weird market. The 2009 year was a interesting year for football cards. And Stafford's always been a weird buy. Not many Pro Bowls, one Super Bowl, probably not going to make the Hall of Fame. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, he's always been an elite quarterback that you can also get on the cheaper. So there you go. Hector, you are right. That Raiders division is always a little. Now with the Raiders being what they are now, Andy, the AFC West gets tough, as is the NFC West.
AFC West is loaded this year, man. All of them looking good. All of them get a W week 1, except for the Chiefs. NFC West it's interesting. The 49ers, I think right now you got to be licking your chops if you are owning Ricky Pearsall with the injuries there. Brandon Ayuk out, George Kittle now out. I saw people buying their backup tight end. His name is slipping my mind, but it's like, who else are they going to throw it to besides Christian McCaffrey, who it looks like vintage Christian McCaffrey week 1. And I think that Seattle defense is actually pretty good. So I would be cautious of starting the offensive players going up against Seattle's defense moving forward. But it also speaks to the strength of Christian McCaffrey. And then it looks like they've got to throw it to Ricky Pearsall, because isn't Juwan Jennings now injured too? Like there's like, yeah. They got so many injuries to wide receivers and tight ends there for the 49ers. Second year Ricky Pearsall, I mean, he's a guy that should have been on my top 10 going up Monday. And I don't know, what did you see from Ricky and Brock Purdy here? Because I thought he looked great.
Yeah, Brock had a few Brock plays. He needs to get better at avoiding those mistakes. I agree with what you said about McCaffrey. I thought he did look fine. are we ever going to get RB1 in the entire NFL, McCaffrey again? I don't know. But to Pearsall, yeah, he looked good. New Jersey number. They give him Uno. Uno. Okay, Pearsall. I'll say
Wow.
that's big time. But yeah, I mean, Ricky, this offense, if you're healthy, you're going to produce. It's just nobody could stay healthy.
Yeah, that's the hard part. So let's see if Parasol stays healthy. I mean, you look at something that's very popular, Prism, a very popular liquid brand, $50 buy it now, sold today on the checkerboard. And I bet you, man, that is probably doubled in value from this week one. So look at the Prism checkerboard. Yeah, I mean, look, you had September 7th. There you go, $30. Now up to 50. So you can see if you go back before the season, that card was $25. So it's kind of just indicative of what his market has done across the board. It's pretty much doubled in value since before the season.
Crazy.
So I know Ricky Parasol owners are licking their chops here coming into week two because they're let's see who they're playing. The Saints. They got your Saints defense who's got, I think, a few holes in the secondary there. Marvin Harrison Jr. almost.
Yeah, it's not a good secondary, especially with Tyron retiring. Safety's fine. Corners a disaster. So I will say the Saints front, Cam Jordan, blast from the past, was unreal versus Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. But yeah, I don't know. Spencer Rattler going up against the Bosa, Nick Bosa. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really, really tough. I want to ask you, Andy. Maybe we can make this a weekly thing. Is there a game on here that you feel is a lock? Let's see if we can get a sports betting partner because Andy's a sharp guy. What is there a game here against the number that you feel comfortable about?
Yeah, I'm dialed in. So if we're talking about spread, we're talking about if I wanted to bet against the spread here.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So it'd probably be. Yeah, it's probably going to be Patriots Dolphins. Right now is the top one jumping off at me. Let me see. Oh, Rams Titans too. Although Titans defense, I don't think is that bad. I think it's pretty solid. But yeah, you're right. With the way that Matt Stafford is playing right now, I mean, he's just gunslinging it out there. And
I'll go opposite. I like the Titans in that game at 5.5.
Okay.
Backs against the wall. Rams traveling. That would be an Eastern time zone kickoff for them. So that's essentially a 9 a.m. kickoff for them. So
Ooh, yeah.
give me the Titans in a bounce back here to cover the 5.5. As high as I am on Stafford and how he played, that offense was still clunky in many ways. So I actually like the under in that game and giving the Titans to cover. Rams win 13-10.
Yeah, I would actually. I'm going to take the Patriots. I think the Dolphins' woes continue.
Oh, Drake May on the road. You're getting 1.5 points, Andy?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with that Patriots Dolphins game.
Andy,
Yep.
going with the Pats. For the chat, what is your lock of the week against the number? We'll do it every week. And for me, I what would be my favorite play of this week? I am in on the Titans at getting those points. Ravens 11.5 after a loss is tantalizing, but I did like what I saw from the Browns. So for right now, I don't know.
This is another one, Carter. To jump in here, the Cardinals Panthers. I think the Panthers could get blown out by the Cardinals in Arizona. Yeah, I think that the Panthers' woes could continue as well here. Bryce Young, look, I don't know, man. If he's disconnected, I don't know what's going on with him. But I do think it could continue. I think it absolutely could. I could see a situation because I think the Cardinals are a pretty decent team. They could get blown out here in Arizona. And I definitely think Arizona covers that spread of 6.5.
Interesting.
Yeah, the Panthers defense stinks.
Interesting. Colts getting 2.5 at home versus the Broncos. I think that's also fascinating. Okay, back to what you guys know us for. Play of the week or hobby tip of the week. Got to do that first. I first want to discuss penny sleeves and top loaders. Always have some ready. Always. I understand it sucks, but just always have some because you never know when you're randomly going to get the urge to rip a box and you say, hey, I need some penny sleeves and top loaders. You can never go wrong. Out of all card essentials that you need on you at all times, penny sleeves and top loaders. In fact, I never actually store my box. I always like to have one unopened box of top loaders as well, just in case I do pull that one big card. Um, so make sure you always have some on you. If you ever get the urge to rip a box, the worst is when you rip something big. This has happened to me before, and you're like, oh, I don't have any penny sleeves and top loaders. So then you got to sit a card raw, run back to the store, and just have it sitting there. You don't want that. So that is indeed my hobby tip of the week. Let's go, Andy.
Yeah,
Give me something good.
buy those supplies, even if you're not lucky like me. I
Right.
struck out again on 3 mega boxes of Donruss Elite. Man, it was pretty it was pretty ugly. So yeah, so hobby tip there: 2025 Donruss Elite hobby boxes are a better buy. Right off the bat, I'll say that. Also had some interesting comments from guys that I really value their opinion, like Clickbaits, who pulls downtowns every year. He says he doesn't, and he's bought every retail box in different release that you can imagine. Based on his experience, and a lot of this is from Walmart and Target, he doesn't start ripping packs until Mosaic comes out, and we've got base Donruss coming out the end of this month. I have to go look. I'm embarrassed to say I don't know the release date for Mosaic if it has been announced yet. So I have to check on that. But yeah, I would say stay away from that set in terms of the sealed product and focus on the singles. Or wait until you get Mosaic. Donruss, I'm definitely getting, and I think in fact, base Donruss, when they release those complete sets, those are great too. The high PSA 10 rate from raw to PSA 10, and you get all the rated rookies in the set. It's a complete set. I know a lot of guys don't like to break it open, but I think it's actually not a bad idea to break it open and take the rated rookies out and sell them individually. Because if you're getting
Right.
at retail prices, you get it for like $40, So it's
Yeah, the
like,
complete sets. Yeah. Mm,
you know,
mm. Once again, I'm looking for this card right here. This Jaden Daniels 1 of 1 game use cleat. Uh, let's.
October 10th, Carter, Mosaic, October 10th. Got the date here on the screen. That's what it says on Steel City Collectibles. Um, yeah, 10 cards, 10 packs per box, 15 cards per pack, 2 autos, 5 silvers, 15 Mosaic, 10. Yeah, I don't, there's no pricing on here yet for it, but we can look at some quick artist proofs real quick. Travis Hunter there. There's a Travis Hunter. It's not bad looking. It is pretty decent design.
Look at that Sistine chat. I've always liked
There
that
we go.
card.
That's what I was looking for right there. Yeah, so there's your design on 2025 Mosaic. So this set's gonna do really well when it comes out for these rookies.
I'm not a Mosaic guy, as you know, Andy, but whatever floats anybody's boat, you know. Yeah, and clickbaits is right on here. In particular, Prism of these 4, but yes. Let's go to everybody. Welcome Donut to the channel.
Donut. I love Donut. He's got me craving a donut now.
He picked up a CJ Daniels auto for $10. CJ Daniels, the former LSU wide receiver. He's got a lot of LSU cards, even though he was only there for a year. So yeah, it is true.
What
Dominic
was your
said,
big takeaway, Carter? Real quick, week 2 college football.
"Oh yeah,
You
yeah.
know, I was flabbergasted that Notre Dame gets a bye week 2. I'm like, what's going
It
on
makes
here?
no sense. I hate that so much for
I'm
them."
like, week 2, you get a bye week. My
Now,
father-in-law was like, yeah, they need it.
yeah, it's weird because their early buy makes a little bit more sense because they're not in a conference, so scheduling is harder for them. But yeah, I think that hurts them in the long run. Week 2 college football is actually sort of a week 3 play. If DJ Lagway struggles again and they lose to LSU, Lagway might be a good buy low QB because he's going to have a lot of draft capital in his future, even though he's not draft eligible until the next season. So that's a guy to look out for as far as his card market is concerned. His autos have always been kind of hot. And then, of course, as far as college football is concerned, it was kind of a weird week 2 matchup, but the guy that generated the most buzz was John Mateer. He was going up against 5-star Bryce Underwood, who will probably be the number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft in 2028. So that's 3 years from now.
Wow.
Mateer looked amazing. So be on the lookout for his cards. And I will say the NFL draft's not going to love him because he does play an obscure style. He has a 1/4-inch delivery. It's kind of a weird sidearmy, flick of the wrist kind of thing. But we'll see. You know, Mateer still has 1 year of college eligibility left, so we'll see what happens there. And Football Card Finder is correct. I don't believe there are any John Mateer Bowmans out there. I don't believe.
I was going to ask you, how do you spell that? Mateer?
Yes.
Let's see. He's got
Yeah.
some leaf. Looks like he's got some leaf metal. Yeah, they're kind of highlighting that release that you're talking about there on the card.
And we do have some wild card John Mateer autos and some on it John Mateer autos that went for a lot. I mean, a whole heck of a lot this past weekend. 224 for a Washington State licensed John Mateer. So it is also weird because Cam Ward also went to Washington State and went on to bigger and better things. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's going to be really, really, really fun.
Yeah, people are buying this market up big time.
But he does
Just
have
goes
top.
to show you
He does
how
have
big
tops now in Oklahoma uniforms, though. So
yeah, it just goes to show you how big the reach is in the hobby and how healthy it is. I mean, everything's on the table if you can play good.
Interesting. Andy, your play of the week.
Yeah, so like my deep cut play of the week is Kayshon Boutte. It is pronounced Boutte, right? Not Booty.
It's Boutte.
Oh, it's Booty. So I
Yeah.
remember Scott Hansen on Red Zone. He said Booty, and I was thinking, I don't know if it's Booty or
Now,
Boutte.
a lot of people thought it was Boutte, and then he changed it, or he corrected everyone like later in his career. So it is Boutte.
Oh, it's Booty. Okay, well, I'm buying the Booty this week. I think it's a good value. It's really cheap. I like the fact that he's got a limited supply as well. He does not have the same supply as a lot of other second-year guys, you know. So I like that because I can easily get somewhat of a monopoly on his market if I own a couple autos. I know that I'm not competing with a whole lot else. So that is a really nice play for me. I'm also looking at him on comc.com where I don't even have to take physical possession of the card. I can just buy it and electronically turn around, flip it. And their listings are also on eBay. So I'm getting all that traffic and all those eyeballs. I'd say the one catch with COMC, though, is you don't really want to cash out because that's when they make their money. So it's one of those things where you put your initial money in or you submit your cards to sell on there. and you kind of keep your money in for the most part and keep playing the game, which is cool. And but obviously you might want to cash out eventually if you make enough. But that's where they make their money. They charge you like a 10% cash out fee. So, but yeah, that's my play of the week. But like I said, you can make. I think there's a good amount of plays you can make right now in the market. Like I do still like the prices on Marquise Brown. I still like the prices on like Ricky Parasol's too high, but Travis Etienne, I still like the prices on him. And yeah, I'm buying dips on other players that haven't even started the season yet, like Chris Godwin, Rashi Rice, those kind of players.
Yeah, so I do want to share this. Um, this was the alleged leaked. Look, I could put this in here for Bowman, and this will be the. Okay, so let me share right here. So this was leaked out. You can see at the bottom it says confidential. Um, this was the leaked out list of autos for Bowman. And Bryce
Interesting.
Bryce Underwood is going to be by far the biggest name on here. Okay, just because it's going to be his first card, first autos. But the second biggest name, because he wasn't in Bowman last year, will be Lenore Sellers. I think those two are on a different level than the others. You could put John Mateer there. Garrett, obviously, I think is as good as those guys, but he has a lot of LSU Uni stuff out there already with Bowman. So that's a leaked checklist. We'll see what actually happens a little bit closer to time. So there you go. Gunnar Stockton will also be interesting as a quarterback of Georgia. So there you go.
Nice.
All right. My play of the week. I actually don't have one. I didn't come up with one to today. I normally look on Wednesday when I wake up Wednesday mornings. I don't have one off the top of my head. I normally prep and I want to give a pretty good one out. But Andy, you've already given yours out as well, Mr.
Yeah,
Kayshon Boutte.
I think we've given out a couple. I mean, looking at the sleepers and some of the different values around the league on some of these skill position players, they're kind of lagging behind a little bit on some of them, and I definitely think that you can take opportunity there to strike, because the market's constantly resetting itself each week right now. Everything's still very fresh, and right, like you don't want to overread too much on what happened in week one, because a lot of things could change week 2, week 3. Teams we thought were bad in week 1, like Miami, and maybe they do miraculously get things back together here in week 2. It's definitely possible, like the Texans Monday night. We'll see what happens. And so I think after you get through week 3, then you have a really good idea of kind of like trends you're going to see for the rest of the season, which heads into that midseason dip period. So right now there's a lot of stuff. The dust is everywhere, and so you can make a lot of moves.
Jonathan wants me to talk about Quentin Johnston.
Oh
Huge.
yeah, I know, man. I'm kind of eating crow over him because I was really low on him early in his career and thought he was like a one-trick pony, and definitely like Lad McConkey way better than him. But it looks like, man, maybe in this hardball system this year, Johnson is going to put up a ton of touchdowns. I don't know, Carter. What do you think?
Well, Keenan looked good.
Yeah, Keenan
And
did look good out there. Yeah.
Lad is Lad, and I'm not going to give up on Trey Harris. He had a catch for 11 yards. So, yeah, I think it's going to be week to week. I think the big story will be, people weren't too impressed with the Marion Hampton. So we'll see. I had a few people in my NFL chat over here say, "Hey, Marion Hampton, look out." So we'll see what the first round draft capital does. Hopefully, throughout the rest of this season, Marion gets going. So there you
Yeah,
go.
I do too, and I think there's a lot of mouths to feed in this offense. So I think 1 week you're going to have Quentin Johnson with a big week, and then Ladd will have bigger weeks, and then you're going to have some big games from Omari and Hampton. I'm pretty convinced of that. So yeah, this Chargers team is exciting this year. There's a lot of opportunity, and I think it comes back to Justin Herbert. Like you look at these teams with a lot of weapons, like the Green Bay Packers, for example. A lot of that ends up funneling back to Jordan Love, when that happens. So, yeah, watch out. I mean, Justin Herbert's already up like a good 20-30%. Some cards have doubled in value from the week 1 win on Herbert. So people are back in on that.
2020 QB class had a good weekend outside of Tua. So
yeah,
there you go. All right, y'all. We will see you guys next week. Peace out.
good
Boom.
luck. Peace.